Saturday didn't just give us results, it gave us clarity. And for a tournament that's felt slightly unstable already, that clarity matters. Let's start with Murrayfield, because England's defeat to Scotland wasn't just a bad day at the office, it was a structural failure under pressure. England didn't lose because Scotland did something outrageous. They lost because Scotland were composed, aggressive and decisive, while England unravelled when the game turned against them. Once momentum shifted, England had no answer. Their discipline slipped, their execution went, their decision-making narrowed, and suddenly a side that looked organised became disjointed. This is the concern for England, not the loss itself, but how brittle they looked when control disappeared. Good international sides can absorb pressure, slow games down and reset. England didn't. They were hurried, reactive, and increasingly uncertain. Scotland sensed that hesitation and went after it. That was the difference between a team imposing itself and a team hoping things come back their way. Scotland deserved real credit here. They weren't reckless, they didn't chase moments, they trusted their shape, trusted their physicality, and trusted that England would blink first. And England did. That's not about flair, that's about belief and clarity. Now move to Dublin, because Ireland versus Italy might be one of the most revealing games of this championship so far. Italy didn't just compete, they belonged. They were organised, brave and tactically intelligent. They challenged Ireland in collisions. They asked questions defensively. And crucially, they didn't disappear when Ireland applied pressure. This wasn't a novelty performance. This was a team that expects to be there. Ireland still won, but they didn't dominate, and that matters. There's a sense now that Ireland are being tested in ways they haven't been for years. Their system still works, but it no longer intimidates opponents. Teams aren't turning up hoping to survive anymore. They're turning up believing they can play. And when belief spreads, margins shrink very quickly at this level. Italy are no longer a free hit in this tournament. They're conditioned for test rugby now. Their defence doesn't panic. Their attack was purposeful. And mentally, they stay present. That changes the championship dynamic completely. Every side now has to account for Italy as a genuine problem, not a scheduled win. So step back and look at the wider picture. England exposed, Ireland questioned, Scotland growing, Italy arriving, and France still looming. This Six Nations is compressing, the middle is tightening, and reputations are no longer providing cover. Which brings us to Wales and France today, and this is where the tournament's emotional centre sits right now. Wales are not just losing games, they're dealing with something deeper. Poor results, structural uncertainty, ticket sales falling, public frustration boiling over. This isn't just about form, it's about belief eroding between the team, the union and the supporters. Steve Tandy's spoken about patience, about cycles, about rebuilding. And all of that may be true, but patience is hard to sell when the decline feels constant and unexplained. France, meanwhile, arrived knowing exactly who they are. They can overwhelm teams physically. They can score from anywhere. But they also live closer to chaos than anyone else. When things go wrong for France, they can spiral. And that's Wales' slim window today. Not through control or dominance, but through disruption. If Wales can drag France into disorder, slow the tempo and make the contest uncomfortable, they give themselves a chance. A small chance, but a chance anyway. Not a likely one, but a real one. The problem for Wales is that right now they don't look like a side capable of sustaining pressure without conceding. Defensively, they're leaking points at an alarming rate. Mentally, they struggle to stay connected when games run away from them. And emotionally, the noise around the team is getting louder by the week. That's what makes today so significant. Not because Wales are expected to win, but because how they lose, or how they compete. This will tell us more than the scoreline. Do they fracture early? Do they resist? Do they stay connected? Or do they retreat? This isn't about miracles, it's about whether there's still a spine in the group. Saturday showed us that the Six Nations is unforgiving. England were punished for hesitation, Ireland were challenged for complacency, and Italy rewarded for belief. Today will show us whether Wales still have something to build from, or whether the gap between intention and performance continues to widen. This tournament isn't about one dominant force anymore, it's about who copes best with instability, who stays mentally clear when pressure mounts, and who understands themselves well enough to survive when things turn ugly against them. Saturday stripped away comfort, Sunday will strip away illusion, and by tonight, the shape of the Six Nations will look a lot sharper than it did 48 hours ago.